county by county. I'm cycling to as many places as possible and exploring their relevance to us today. 1598, and Father Richard Blount heard his sandals pad hard on the stone floor as he fled. The priest told him Richard had been hiding for these past few years was becoming claustrophobic anyway. The alternatives could be much worse. A reality now facing him as the king's men were intent on capturing him for his persistent Catholicism. He eventually escaped over the wall of Scotney Castle. However, social and religious fragmentation had taken its toll on the place by 1558, and the current Catholic owner, Thomas Durrell, found that the only original piece of the castle left was the southern tower. Now refurbished in the Elizabethan style, the Scotney estate and its surrounding areas overlooked the great sea of political and religious reform England was to endure. Scotney Manor was originally owned by a Norman lord named Lambert de Scotney. Although upon the knowledge that there might be an imminent French invasion, Roger de Albisham took the land by force and developed it. It was now 1137, and building the original wooden fort on two islands, the castle formed a quadrangular fashion with 4 towers. A wide moat encompassed it, and a gatehouse. These were uncertain times, and construction hastened as a result of the realization that set in, causing a society based on mechanical solidarity to turn slowly to feudalism. Ashburnham died in 1392, but his son carried on the upkeep of the castle until he was killed in battle in 1418. Then, bought by Robert Cheadle on behalf of the Archbishop of Canterbury, the property ended up in the hands of the clergyman's niece. This niece happened to be the wife of one John Durrell. It was during this period that the aforementioned Elizabethan manor was established. It was 1580 when, set against the backdrop of the River Buell, the astonishing transformation took place. The castle was domesticated to such a large degree, no longer were the imminent need for defence without. Unfortunately, an increasing amount of caution was advisable from within during this period. As has already been mentioned, Scotney was at the heart of political and hierarchical development and religious change. Fragmentation was drilling into social conflict. For 7 years between 1591 and 1598, Thomas Durrell harboured a Catholic priest in a secret chamber inside the castle. In 1630, after the turmoil of dissolution of the monasteries, the waning ruralistic system got back on even keel for at least another 80 years or so. Tempers calmed, and expansion work on Scotney Manor began in earnest. Medieval castle was pulled down, and Thomas connected the newly designed house to the surviving tower. The manor followed the same route to decay as the medieval castle, and together they formed the centrepiece of the magnificent hillside garden, while the eastern range added as well to all this was designed by Indigo Jones. After buying the grounds and the surrounding areas in 1775, a Mr. Richards sold the estate quickly to an Edward Hussey, who went on to buy more of the surrounding property, including Buell Water. Hussey decided he would build a newer castle or mansion around the relics of the old. He also used the remnants of the ancient castle in the lake as a garden feature. This was soon outlined in greater detail by the designs of Anthony Salvin, who was commissioned to revitalise the grounds. The picturesque view was accentuated, quarrying away part of the hillside for building the stone. Hussey planted a fusion of trees and masses of azaleas and rhododendrons, so Scotney is astounding and vibrant in the summer months.
Since Edward Hussey died in 1894, numerous changes have been made and some things have remained exactly the same. Edward's grandchildren continue to improve on the garden he started, modernising and altering the layout somewhat. However, the principal ideal stayed the same. Scotney also remained a hub of solidity over the years, as it always had striven to do. Many theatrical productions have taken place over the years, Hollywood films and amateur productions. It is a testament to the impact the place has had on those that view it, that not only does the big screen acknowledge its contribution to society, but also governments. In the late 70s and early 80s, Margaret Thatcher had rooms there as a retreat from the pressures of Parliament. Today it belongs to the National Trust, and as such perhaps its days of harbouring others under its wing are over, and it's an era of us looking after this magnificent castle instead. Next time on County Climbs, I'll be looking at the effects of Norman fragmentation within society and how it affected one particular estate in Wales particularly, to the extent whereby it vexed the royal household itself.
It was also needed the... It was now 11:37, and building the original wooden fort on two islands. The castle was built in 1087, shortly after
No, I really do feel like we're back at school.